office of Times Nation, and we are here at Sutherland Road near Kalighat Metro Station, and we are here for the inauguration of Creative Arts. So let's get inside and see what it's all about.
Happening, and my family who's been generous enough to devote this whole space to the arts. We're very humble, small business family, but they feel that arts is important and they've been generous enough to give all this space to us. This is a work in progress. Today we are inaugurating the ground floor Black Box Theatre of the Creative Arts Academy, and to have a lot of jam sessions, music sessions, and galore. With that, I welcome Pandit Tanmoy Bose, who's my long-time standing collaborator, dear friend, legendary artist that everyone in Bengal and all over the world knows. He's produced
of somebody who's really working seriously in the arts is an ability to constantly reinvent yourself. The arts are constantly responding, they're constantly changing because they are so much part of ongoing life. And I think TCAA has shown that. Has shown the tenacity to persist and be committed and dedicated to their work, but also not to be stuck on a group of the city to help young aspiring journalists start creating their own stories and write their own stories and get published, which is something we will give you more details about a little later. So we're hoping that the writing department will draw in people from all kinds of age groups, just those who want to dabble with interesting new forms of writing, want to try their wings, want to experiment, and those who want to commit themselves to a career in writing. Okay, thank you very much. Let me now pass this on.
Had the dream, and that dream came true. And we are part of your dream, and here it is, this beautiful space for music lovers and art lovers in general. As of talking about the music department, all I can say is I'm trained in a strict Guru Shishya Parampara, and the work that I do is basically performing arts, and I keep performing as a classical musician. And also I do contemporary work, scoring music for theatres mainly, and also cinema sometimes, and ballets and so on. So this space, what I have been thinking and discussing with Ramanjit ji, you will be happy to know that I will be concentrating on a strict Guru Shishya Parampara Talim style here. Because what I notice now, to school you can do it online. Music is one faculty that you have to sit and surrender to your guru, and then only you can master the art. So there is no way that you can do music online, no matter.
Turbans always.
And humble man sitting far away from the
With that, I welcome Bhai Baldeep Singh ji. This is one of the online.
In history, our finest elders of in any given era have honored contemporary contributions. For example, you say, how can you say that? Now, who am I? My relationship with Bengal. Guru Nanak came here. Shantiniketan, the first institution that Tagore Sahab, it was affiliated to Punjab University, Lahore. His first poem is on Guru Gobind Singh at age 10 in Shimla. So and he would say on a naughty note, if you want the finest species, marry the Bengali girls with the Punjabi men. But if I was there then, I would have asked him, what about Punjabi girls, what do we do with them? but again, the idea about the sanskara, he's not saying ki karo, but talking about the sanskara, about what is the sanskara. But how is it that the contemporary and the heritage has lived together? Raag Shuddha Todi, what we call a Shuddha Todi, kyun kehna pad gaya ki it is Shuddha Todi? It was simply Todi, or Todi jise kehte hain. When Mia Tansen came along, he created a Todi. But it is prefixed as Miye ki Todi. It is honoring contemporary music. It's a contemporary creation. His son, Ustad Bilas Khan, when he died, Tansen ji died, Bilas Khan honored the memory of his father. In Melancholy, he sang in Bilas Khani Todi, again the greatest of our masters. Seniors, they honored that. They said, yes, it is an authentic raga, it is a Shuddha raga. We honor you with the title Bilas Khani Todi. Malhar, Shuddha Malhar is already sung. In Gurbani we sing the ancient Malhar, Sare Mapa Dhasa, 5 notes. And Dhrupads exist. Hindustani Sangeet mein nahi hai. But when Mia Tansen created a contemporary, contribution, he had his own harvest. It is being time honored with the raga Mia ki Malhar, etc. I just don't have to go into many details. So when you see what I see at the creative arts, it's that convergence of heritage and contemporary attendance to contemporary issues, or attendance by the finest thinkers or attendees of knowledge to contemporary issues. Educating the contemporary young generation is a contemporary issue. How do you create the finest ambassadors? So for me, I don't see creative arts as a place where मतलब उस्ताद या पंडित ही पैदा होंगे. I want the finest of the cops to be associated. In their CV should be कि हमने TCAA से पढ़ा. Finest of the our military officers. They should have. I mean, they all need to stand up and youngsters.
Festivals are the thing to be. Carnivals are the thing to be. Pre-carnivals are also the thing to be. The larger the event, the more extravagant the event, the more the attention that you can generate. And obviously that means that there is a great deal of finances, funding behind it. That's not necessarily the most artistic of achievements. That's what I want to tell you, is that as we all know, small is beautiful. The smallest spaces throughout the history of the arts have created the greatest experiments. The largest revolutionary, radical movements have emerged from smaller spaces in whatever the art form that you think of. And therefore, it's not, small is beautiful, true, but it's not an easy job to keep such a small endeavor running. And that's all credit to Ramanjit for having had the initiative, the drive, the momentum to single-handedly, actually, yes, Ramanjit is always very kind to distribute the honors as she has today. But if it hadn't been for her, TCAA would have wound up a long time back. We are all there, like Heidi said, we are all spokes, but she is the hub, and she keeps it running. And the fact that it has moved from a very small space, actually various small spaces when you began, to the present space, which is still operational near Kalighat, which is actually less than this size, right? Isn't it? And now you've got a building of your own. Now that is really something to be proud of. It's still small. It's not a huge building, right? But it's moving on. It's doing all kinds of activities, and I have to say that I had to, because of work commitments, when the Kalighat, that was 2010, right? Wasn't it? When you moved there, when you actually kind of set up there. That was a bad time for me because professionally I had bad, meaning of course you are given these duties. I became the head of the department at Jadavpur University where I was before I retired. So you couldn't do anything else. And then my father passed away the same year. And so pre-carnivals are also the thing to be. The larger the event, the more extravagant the event, the more the attention that you can generate. And obviously that means that there is a great deal of finances, funding behind it. That's not necessarily the most artistic of achievements. That's what I want to tell you, is that as we all know, small is beautiful. The smallest spaces throughout the history of the arts have created the greatest experiments, the largest revolutionary, radical movements have emerged from smaller spaces in whatever the art form that you think of. And therefore, it's not, I mean, small is beautiful, true, but it's not an easy job to keep such a small endeavor running. And that's all credit to Ramanjit for having had the initiative, the drive, the momentum to single-handedly, actually, yes, Ramanjit is always very kind to distribute the honors as she has today. But if it hadn't been for her, TCAA would have wound up a long time back. We are all there, like Haiji said, we are all spokes, but she is the hub, and she keeps it running. And the fact that it has moved from a very small space, actually various small spaces when you began, to the present space, which is still operational near Kalighat, which is actually less than this size, right? Isn't it? And now you've got a building of your own. Now that is really something to be proud of. It's still small. It's not a huge building, right? But it's moving on. It's doing all kinds of activities, and I have to say that I had to, because of work commitments, when the Kalighat, that was 2010, right? Wasn't it? When you moved there, when you actually kind of set up there. That was a bad time for me because professionally I had bad, meaning of course you are given these duties. I became the head of the department at Jadavpur University where I was before I retired. So you couldn't do anything else. And then my father passed away the same year. And so...
As we all know it here, but she is here because she has her heart in the right place, and her connection to arts, to spirituality is really commendable. And what Ushashi is going to bring to the table for the millennials is something to watch out for. Over to you, Ushashi.
Thank you so much, Raman ma'am. I think first of all, congratulations. I think I've known ma'am for a long time, and I think every conversation with her has always been about the academy. I mean, whatever we talk, it always comes back to the academy. I think that's the passion she comes with, and I feel that has been very, very inspiring for me to have a personality like her in my life who I can look up to in terms of chasing a dream, living a passion. I think that's something extremely inspirational. And as Tanmay said, that I don't think you can do anything in life if you don't have the right teacher or the right guru guiding you towards it. And I think that's what I have learned growing up. I am where I am is because of the amazing teachers and gurus I have met in my life, whether it's my principals who guided me in school, or to be trained under Sushmita Sen or Naunika Chatterjee, which led me to live my dream of being a model. I think when I come from a background where studies, or my dad's an engineer. He always wanted either me or my sister, one of us, to be an engineer, and kind of we chose to get into a different field. Like media and industry was a very alien field to my father's side of the family, but I could do that because I really had some amazing mentors. Although back then we never had any academy which could teach us modeling or grooming or personality development. All of that kind of happened to me, and I learned it on the go. So I realized that I lost a lot of time and years because I was learning things on the go, and I decided that I will curate a workshop which will actually help young girls and boys who want to learn or get into modeling, which I think is absolutely a creative art field, because as a model I had to learn music because we had to walk on music. So understanding of music beats was very important. Understanding of visual arts was very important, like how you carry something, what's your personality around a garment or whatever you are trying to showcase. So at that time, I met some amazing artists in my life. One of my closest friend, Ram Indranil Kamat, who's no more with me, but he had a huge impact in my life of with my understanding of art, spirituality, all comes from him. And then I realized that there is such finer aspects of grooming and personality development and modeling. And I thought if I can put it in a course and bring it for younger generation. I mean, I know I can't do everything, but I can do something. And just because I can't do everything, I didn't want to refuse to do the something I could. And that's when I actually called up Brahman ma'am one day, and we went for coffee, and I told her that I want to do this, and she's like, I thought that I will come for this coffee and ask you to do this for us. So I think I've been very blessed to meet the right people at the right time in my career, in my journey, and I know, entertainment industry as a field is not very kind to young professionals. There are a lot of ways where you can be misguided, where your confidence can be shattered and broken, and a lot of people don't reach out to the right sources. So exploitation in these industries are huge. But all of this you can cut out if you have the right guide and the right mentor. And I think that's where I wanted to fill in my city to start with. And I'm sure, like with TCA, we are going to go across the world. I think that's the vision I have with TCA.
Yes, yes.
My personality reflected from the heroes I had in my life, whether as a child it was my father. Growing up, I have had mentors like Sushmita Sen, Priyanka Chopra. I have always looked up to women, who had very strong personalities, and eventually I end up working with such women. So I think, all of that I've learned on the journey, and I want to bring that for students of my city. And every time there have been so many youngsters who write to me saying that, if we can learn from you and groom under you, and I never really had a place to do that, and I think that's what TCA Academy kind of completely solved for me. And I would be taking up sessions in Calcutta. We would be launching more workshops, and it would be very interesting, and I hope to meet a lot of young people and do this. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Ushu pointed out a couple of